Welcome back to the videos, everybody. Today we're starting the car and we're going to talk about the 034 Motorsports tune. Kind of my little review on it because both GTIs have been tuned for quite a while. This one has been tuned for almost 6 months, something like that, 7 months maybe. And Justice's has been tuned for pretty much exactly a year now. So I feel personally like I have adequate experience. Turn the music off so I don't get copyrighted. And I feel that I have enough experience in the matter, and I can give you my fair, honest opinion on it. First thing we're going to talk about is, I hate saying the word negative because it's not really negative. It's just kind of a quirk that the tune has. The very first thing in the morning, it's cold. It's 28 degrees. Sometimes it's like 14, 15 degrees right now. The car, upon startup in the first like 2-3 minutes of driving, can be a little bit, not necessarily sluggish, because you shouldn't be getting on it anyways while it is cold, but it's a little bit jerky, if that makes sense. Like, it's almost as if you didn't know how to drive manual and tried to drive manual. You kind of get the back and forth. Anyways, what I'm saying is, for the first 3 minutes, when it's super cold outside, only when it's super cold outside, it'll behave in a weird manner. And then after that, once car's warmed up, or once the temperatures start going up, it totally goes away. Okay, my second not negative is also applicable to only when it's cold outside. So if it's 30 degrees or below and you're full throttle after the car's warmed up, I can't remember if it's an underboost or an overboost, but it does throw a code for boost threshold being exceeded or not met. And I can only get it to do it when it's really cold again outside. And along with that, I do know that it is the tune. It's not anything I did to the car. And the only reason I know that is because Justice's car does it too. And she's pretty much stock. She's got an intake, she's got lowering spring and a hood strut, and that's it. This car's got a little bit more done to it. It does not have an intake, but it does have a different turbo outlet pipe. It's by IE. It's metal, it's all aluminum instead of plastic, so it's not garbage. Anyways, what I'm saying is both cars do it. One's more modified, one's less modified, and the issue's there. So it is the tune, it is not the cars. I would also like to preface, this is not me dogging on 034 at all. That is not my intention here. These are just things I think that they could fix with an update. They've updated the tune once before, and it actually helped Justice's car quite a bit. So I think if they went ahead and addressed these issues, but that also requires us as individuals to reach out and not be rude, and just realize that they're a company, they are people, they make mistakes are bound to happen. And I wouldn't say that this is anything big. I would personally say that with a little bit of tweaking, they could release a new updated version of the tune and be perfectly fine, and it would fix both of these problems. Other than that, those are the only issues I have encountered, and it's only relatively super cold weather. So take that for what you will. I do think the 034 Motorsport tune is pretty dang good. Tunes for your car are probably the best bang for buck you can get. Bang for buck mod that you can get. For $500-600, you get a flashing tool, as long as you have a computer that runs some variation of windows. You get a flashing tool that you can then take that and use at home in the comfort of your own garage or your gravel driveway, wherever you do your stuff. But you get that tool, you can flash it, and within 25-30 minutes you're making 80 to 100 horsepower and foot-pounds of torque difference. I really think that you can't beat that for $500-600. So at this point, you may be asking yourself, Austin, what else? What else does a tune do for you besides add a little bit of power? I'm so glad you asked, because I got a couple answers. First thing, the tune actually optimizes everything, optimized for your vehicle. A lot of people see an increase in gas mileage, myself included. And that's not just with 034 Motorsports. When I had my Mark 6 and I got tuned by IE, my gas mileage went up when I wasn't dogging on it, of course. If you're dogging on it, you're not gonna see that benefit. But if you have a long drive like me every day, I drive about 40 minutes to work, you get about 10-15 miles extra of range per tank, which is pretty good. I wouldn't say that I would tune a car just for that specific reason, but that is a bonus for sure. Another thing is your throttle response. And yes, you could take this as saying power delivery, but the way that I'm trying to portray it is actual throttle, like pedal response, and the car's response, the two together. So this car is drive-by-wire, not drive-by-cable. So you have a throttle position sensor on both your throttle body and a pedal position sensor, and those two communicate through the ECU. So you push your gas pedal, your pedal position sensor then sends a signal to the ECU, and the ECU then sends a signal to your throttle position sensor or your throttle body and says, hey, open this much. And with a factory tune and factory everything, there is a slight delay in that. And when you tune the car, at least I have noticed with 034 Motorsports and IE's tunes, they help significantly with that response. Instead of there being a small, and I do mean small, amount of delay between the pedal and power delivery, it's virtually nothing. Now it's instant response and no problems, the car wants to go. I would like to bring up another point. So sport mode, obviously, is exactly what it sounds like. It is sport mode. And on this car, it is definitely more snappier. It wants to respond better in sport mode, obviously in factory form. But you tune this, and then your factory comfort, eco, whatever you want to call it, those modes also are increased a little bit and feel more like the factory sport mode, and then sport actually feels sporty. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys at all. If you guys have tuned a car before, or if you have one of these and they are tuned, then you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. If not, that probably sounds like a bunch of gibberish, but I promise you it makes sense. Another thing is when you go into sport mode, let's say you've driven in sport mode, and this applies to a factory tune as well as the 034 Motorsports tune. If you are in sport mode, when you shut the car off, turn the car back on, you're no longer technically in sport mode, which doesn't make any sense. I don't know why it was designed this way, but it's kind of goofy. So if you shut it off, turn it back on, you have to switch out of sport mode, switch back into sport mode, and then you're in sport mode. Doesn't make any sense. Just a quick tidbit there. Another thing you're going to notice is exhaust on decel anywhere above 2,800, 3,000 RPM, you are going to get a significant bump in crackles, popcorn, whatever you want, but it's not obnoxious. It is enough to feel good about it and not enough to make you feel like a douchebag. So I'm gonna actually put you on the outside of the car and you guys can get, hopefully the camera picks it up. Also, I filmed this entire video yesterday and I don't know if the mic on the inside of the case came unplugged or what happened, but there was zero audio. Okay, I'm gonna put you guys on the outside of the car. Don't fall off. And hopefully you guys can hear the exhaust and the crackles, the popcorn, burbles, whatever you want to call them. So you're now in the back of the car. I'm gonna tilt you down and don't fall off. Well, I hope at least some of that was audible. Oh, let's get back into the car and we'll go over the last thing. It's pretty obvious. And obviously, the biggest thing is the power. And I would say that 034 Motorsports has done an awesome job at the way the power is delivered in this car. It's very quick, it's very snappy, and it's pretty smooth. It's not choppy in any sort of way unless it's super cold outside and you run into those issues that I mentioned earlier. But overall, great tune. I'll go do a couple pulls real quick. A couple small pulls. Just little ones, just so we can see, at least you can kind of get a perspective of it. Obviously, you're not in the car. You're not going to be able to feel it, but it is whole different animal once you tune it. Okay, we'll pull up onto our designated road here on our closed course. First gear is also useless if you're doing a pull. And that's 60. It was like 63, but just gives you a point. I wonder if you guys can hear the pops on camera inside the cab. I don't know if you guys would be able to, but just a thought. I'm sure I'll be able to tell after doing this and editing it. But yeah, it's a whole different animal. I think the 034 Motorsport tune is great. It's also priced really well. I'll put up a picture of their website. I think it's like $549, something along those lines. But for the money, you just can't beat tuning your car. Now, obviously, this will void your warranty, your powertrain warranty. Everything else, obviously, is still good to go. The only issues I could see are like turbo, intake, motor, trans, probably CV axles because they're technically connected to your powertrain. Yeah, 034 Motorsports, overall, I give it a 4.25 out of 5 stars. Pretty dang good. And I wanted to really make this video because Unitronic has given us the opportunity to tune our car on their tune. And so I wanted to be as transparent as I possibly could and be able to compare the both of them. So I am coming back out to Colorado. I don't get to go home for the rest of the year quite yet. I will be home for a week and we will be doing some fun stuff. both in quotations, and it'll be fun. It'll just be a pain in the butt, something I've never done before. Sorry, my mind just keeps going. We will be tuning the car in Unitronics Tune, and I will have the opportunity to road trip in it, bring it out here, and spend some good time with it to be able to give you guys my honest opinions on that, which I think is great. I love that Unitronic is working with me on that and is allowing me to do this for you guys. So big shout out to them. 034 Motorsports, make a couple tweaks and this is pretty solid for a stage 1 low torque tune. Pretty dang great. Without further ado, guys, hit that subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, tell me what you like, tell me what you didn't like, and leave a comment. Just period. Make fun of me if you want. My hair's crazy. I'm balding. I'm 24 years old. Go wild. All right. Without further ado, and without me rambling on more, you guys have a wonderful evening, and I will catch you next time. This is Austin, and this is Octane Media. Peace.